Hello everyone. Have you ever loved someone so deeply that even your dreams weren't yours anymore but belonged to that beloved? Now imagine you're just 10 years old and your beloved isn't someone from your school or your neighborhood but Lord Vishnu himself. What happens when a child's devotion is so pure, so fierce, and so unshakable that even God himself had to pause and listen? Welcome back to Curious Breed, where timeless stories breathe again, where verses have voices, and where ancient devotion meets modern wonder. If you are new here, do hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share with someone who still believes in magic. The quiet kind. The kind found in temples and in poetry and in garlands. Today's story takes us to Srivilliputtur, a small town in Tamil Nadu. One misty morning, as temple bells rang softly in the distance, a priest named Vishnu was tending to his sacred tulsi plant. He was a man of deep faith, one who probably spoke more to his plants than to actual people. As he went about his daily rituals, he spotted something beneath the tulsi. A piece of cloth, a garland, well, no, a baby, a girl just lying there, serene, glowing as though she had just arrived from another realm entirely. Without question or hesitation, he picked her up, held her close. He named her Kodai, meaning garland, a beautiful name but also an omen, because one day the child would offer herself as a divine garland and the divine would accept. Kodai didn't just grow up like most children, while others played games or complained about early morning prayers, or she was just captivated by stories of Vishnu, stories of Krishna. She wasn't just interested, she was enthralled. The epics weren't legends or myths or history to her, but they were memories waiting to return. Her devotion was not taught, it blossomed naturally like jasmine on the temple walls. And then came the moment that changed everything. So every morning, Vishnu would make a fresh flower garland to adorn the idol of Lord Vishnu. But one day he noticed the garland didn't seem as crisp. The petals were slightly bent, the thread was loose. He watched more closely. That's when he saw her, Kodai, in front of a mirror, slipping the garland over her head, admiring her reflection, whispering softly, "Do I look good enough for him today?" Shocked, he scolded her. "You wore a garland that was meant to be an offering to the Lord. That's not how it works." But that night, Vishnu himself appeared in Vishnu Chitta's dream and smiled gently. "I actually prefer the garland she has worn. It carries the fragrance of her love." From that moment, Kodai was no longer just Kodai. She became Andal, the girl who ruled God's heart. And with that, the line between devotee and divine began to blur. As she grew, Andal's love matured into poetry. At just 15, she composed 30 verses, one for each day of the sacred month of Margazhi. These verses weren't just meant to impress scholars, they were meant to awaken hearts, to bring people together, to remind them of joy, of rhythm, of surrender. This collection then became called as Tirupavai. And here's how she began.
மல்குமாய் பாடிச் செல்வச் சிறுமீர்கள் ஊர்வேல் கொடுந்தொழிலன் நந்தகோபன் குமரன் ஏராந்த கண்ணி யசோத இளஞ்சிங்கம் கார்மேனிச் செங்கண் கதிர்மதியம் போல் முகத்தான் நாராயணரே நமக்கே பறை தருவான் ஆரோர் புகழப்படிந்தேலோர் எம்பாவாய்.
So what she says here, it's the sacred month of Margazhi. The moon is full, the world is hushed, and everything feels just a little closer to the divine. She calls out to her friends, girls with bangles and bright eyes, to wake up, to bathe in the river, and to sing to Lord. But it's not just a physical bath, it's symbolic. It's all about cleansing your mind, washing off your ego. It's a call to join together, to remember, to praise the divine, not as some distant concept, but as someone real, someone close. This verse sets the tone for the rest of the Tirupavai. And Andal goes door to door, calling her friends to awaken not just from their beds, but from their illusions. She describes Krishna not in abstract theological terms, but with affection. She speaks of his mischief, of his charm, his beauty. She pleads with him, praises him, and even teases him. Her verses are filled with longing, joy, and surrender. They don't feel like chants from a distance, they feel like secrets shared between lovers. Andal reminds us that devotion doesn't need to be dry and distant. It can be playful, it can be intimate, even bold, and that idea that it's okay to love God not just with reverence but with passion is what makes her so timeless. But Andal didn't stop with the Tirupavai. In her other works, Nachiyar Tirumozhi, she reveals an even more vulnerable side. Here she is no longer the guide calling others to awaken, she is the girl who can't sleep, the one aching with love. In one verse, she turns to her pet parrots and begs, "Oh parrot, won't you just listen? Go tell him I can't bear this waiting anymore." She dreams of her wedding to Lord Krishna, the flowers, the music, and the sacred fire, only to wake up alone. And then, with heartbreaking honesty, she says, "Even if I fast and waste away, will he ever notice?" I thought this was raw, real, and it's why her poetry still resonates. Haven't we all at some point asked, if I give my everything, my time, my love, my effort, will it matter? Eventually, Andal declares that she would marry no mortal, only Lord Ranganatha of Srirangam. The king himself arranged the bridal procession. Andal, dressed as a bride, shimmering in silk and jasmine, entered the sanctum and never returned. She merged with the deity. Her journey of love, poetry, and longing had come full circle. And today, when you look up at the towering gopuram of the Srivilliputturu temple, you'll notice something really beautiful. It's shaped like a garland, her garland. Andal didn't just change how we worship, she changed why we pray or worship. She made devotion personal. She made it okay to speak to God like you'd speak to someone you love, to cry, to laugh, to ask, to wait, and to hope. So maybe tomorrow morning, before all your chaos begins, listen to the Tirupavai, speak a word of gratitude, and you don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up. And if you ever feel like trying on a garland before offering it to God, well, maybe don't just tell the priest. If Andal's story made you smile, stirred something in you, or reminded you of your own quiet rituals, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Curious Plea, and share this with someone who believes in sacred mornings and soulful love. Until next time.